Hi everybody, it is Wednesday the 9th of August 2023. It's about 8:40 a.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. Um I guess everybody's heard the morning news that big Mega Millions ticket was sold in Florida. So I guess it was sold at like a grocery store or something like that. Uh, okay, just a reminder, hey, everything that I say on these channels, it is for entertainment purposes only. Yes, I have been in contact, discussing things on WhatsApp this morning with Mystical Fortunes, so we're coordinating days and times and as to whose channel we're going to be going up on, but I have it most likely it will be this upcoming Saturday. So, I'll be doing a video on Friday, and no, today's Wednesday. Yeah, Friday I'll be doing a regular, pre-recorded video, so I'll be able to tell you which channel to look for us on Saturday. Okay. Um, I don't have everything in normal order, so I'm just gonna go through as things popped up. Yeah, most of you know who Barry Soetoro is by now, okay? Well, now it is coming out from a lot more sources that Barry is on the down low and that his partner most likely is a Michael, and that the guy who used to be his chef probably was going to reveal that and confirm the rumors. And that's why there's Chappaquiddick Part 2 happening right now. So that is, yes. And start poking around. All you have to do is type in like National Enquirer and put in a few keywords pertaining to Barry and Mikey, and you will get a whole heck of a lot of information. Okay, and I do tend to believe what that tabloid newspaper has to say. They're more reliable than the normal mainstream media because they've already been sued once and lost. So they make sure that all their information is correct. Okay, now we all heard about Henry and Rachel buying the movie rights. I go, believe it or not, unless it's like a massive bestseller like Michael Crichton or that other idiot who lives up in Maine. Yeah, he's a Biden. He loves Jojo. Yeah, one of his books is The Stand. So, unless you are selling millions, actually selling millions copies of your books, nobody pays $3 million for the movie rights. So basically, I think that whole mess, like I said before, it was a ghostwritten scenario. It was ghostwritten, and it was Rachel's interpretation of how their romance happened. Okay, and I think it was just a way of washing money. Okay, yeah, that's what I think it is. Now, they have been talking a lot about, yeah, as of today, the Writers Guild of America has been on strike for 100 days. SAG joined in on July 14th. SAG's big thing is AI, well, and residuals. Well, most of these people walking around on the picket line, read your contracts. If there's something in that contract you don't like, you don't have to sign it. But nobody reads their contracts. They don't read the fine print, so it's your own fault. You could have had your agent put something in about AI. And also the nonsense where they signed away residuals for things made prior to 1974, which means a lot of the people that are in the old actors' home, people that are in their 90s and above, they used to depend on those meager residual checks. They don't get anything now. Okay? Is going back to Florida. I guess Ronnie D is now on has now switched to a new campaign manager. I guess he didn't like the way things were going, so he's got somebody else running his campaign. But right now he's trailing by more than 40 points behind Donald. Honestly, he's trying to imitate Barry. Barry kept getting elected for stuff and then bailing out halfway through his term. No. Ronnie D, finish your term as governor. After everybody sees what a good job you did as governor and you fulfilled your term of office, this one especially, then you can go for the top job. But just stop. No. Quit this campaigning for the top job. You are more, right now, you need to make sure Florida is running well. Because Florida has a heck of a lot of coastline. And yes, America does have the same kind of dinghy diver situation. So he needs to be taking care of all that Florida coastline. Stop trying to run for the top job. Just he needs to make sure Florida is in good shape. Next, the Big Red Sea. They are now starting to sweat bullets because here in North America and the UK, inflation is just like, prices are just skyrocketing out the window. I mean, stuff that we used to pay $2 for is now $5 to $10. Even the dollar stores are no longer just $1. They've increased their prices. So yeah, they're but the Big Red Sea is dealing with deflation. Yeah, their money is like just dropping, and that's why I guess they're pushing that new app to get on everybody's phone. They know people are now aware of TikTok as part of the Big Red Sea. So now they want people to get on this shopping app that begins with a T so they can continue to steal the information off your cell phones. Yeah. I mean, they can, yeah, you go shopping on your phone or your computer and you have to put in a card number. Well, when you do that on that shopping thing for all the cheap stuff, you're giving the Big Red Sea all your personal information. So people, please stop doing that. It's yeah, it's basically slave labor manufacturing all those items. And plus, the Big Red Sea is having a fit now because more countries are pushing for hydrogen cars. Not battery cars, but cars that actually run on hydrogen gas. If we go back, way back when in the 40s, while there was all the upset happening in Europe at that time, they developed an engine, and in some countries, cars were being run on, they had big hydrogen gas tanks on the back of those cars, and that's what they were running on. And that's before this new computerized technology and the battery stuff. Remember, most of those components that are used in electric vehicles and even diesel and gasoline vehicles, all the computer parts are made in the Big Red Sea. So if enough people annoy the Big Red Sea, you may find out that your car doesn't start because they've done a worldwide shutdown of vehicles. So We knew there was something going to happen when back 15 years ago they did the cash for clunkers. So if you can find a vehicle that's not a computer, grab it and hold on to it. Because a computer vehicle, if you can somehow disconnect that motherboard and the tracking device, ditch your satellite radio, that would be the best thing, because that satellite radio stuff is what allows people to track you where your car is at. So disconnect the tracking devices. Okay? Now, what is it? What is it? The guy's what? Sadiq Khan is the mayor of London, and he's got these ULEZ, like ULEZ cameras all over the place. Ultra low emission zone. And if you go into it and your car doesn't fit the correct criteria, you get dinged with a massive toll to drive into that area. Now, they are putting those signs and cameras up in front of different religious buildings. Now, I'm not positive as to what faith Sadiq Khan follows, but what he's doing by putting those cameras up, it's mainly in front of Christian churches and synagogues. So basically, he's making religious freedom a no-go because people cannot drive their vehicles to their houses of worship. So he basically, it's bad enough the lockdown closed the churches, which was immoral, unethical in my book. But now the mayor of London is wanting to prevent people from attending religious services. And that in itself should be reason enough for him not to be reelected. Okay? Now, in New York, we've seen what's been happening there. They had that big mess with that social media fool and the big riot in Union Square. Well, now people are squawking at New York City's mayor, Adams, and he's about on the same level of competency as Beetlejuice and Baboon. They're telling them, instead of putting these people in schools and park areas and causing nice neighborhoods of New York City to become dangerous neighborhoods because of these wetbacks. Yeah, and I'm calling them wetbacks because that's what they're doing. They're crossing the Rio Grande, so they have to get wet. Yeah, these people are coming from not nice countries, and they're either coming out of the Big Red Sea or the Pray 5 times a day North African places and other Middle Eastern places. So instead of putting these people that will openly harass and attack American women, the community leaders now want the mayor to house these illegal wetbacks over on Rikers Island. I guess they've got room for over 30,000 people on Rikers. Yeah, they've got plenty of open space to park these idiots. So, I think that would be a good thing for New York to do. They crossed here illegally. So go sit on Rikers Island until your petition to become legal is approved. So those of you in New York area, hey, keep calling the mayor's office and say, hey, keep our neighborhood safe. Let's dump them onto Rikers. They're criminals. They're breaking the law by coming in, so let's put them in a holding pen such as that. And I think that Chicago needs to do the same thing. There's, I mean, Baboon Johnson, he's literally, he's like Mr. Oh, I have the Chicago's teachers union behind me. But instead of building up the schools and making better schools and with smaller classrooms and reopening school buildings that were shut down because they didn't have the staff, the kids are now going to overcrowded schools, and those empty schools are now housing the wetbacks. Pretty soon here in town, here in Chicago, not the hood rats, but the more organized social clubs will start disciplining the wetbacks when they get out of line. All right. Now, something else that's I saw, now a lot of these foolish kids that are out there, they drink all these stupid energy drinks. Well, in some cities, I guess this one brand called Prime is now being pulled off the shelves. Now, people start looking at the ingredients. Children don't need that amount of caffeine, and a lot of them, they say sugar-free, but actually those artificial sweeteners are worse than real sugar. So, bring back old-fashioned Kool-Aid. Yeah, you can control, it says add 2 cups of sugar. Well, you can drop it down to 1 cup of sugar and you still have the flavor. I mean, okay, yeah, sometimes I still buy packages of good old-fashioned Kool-Aid. And I only put like half a cup of sugar when I make a picture of it. And it's just enough to take the bite off the flavoring. So, yeah, go back to good old-fashioned Kool-Aid. Keeps the kids hydrated, just a little bit of sugar. And none of that caffeine chemical stuff or taurine to be put in their body. Now, through the 90s, the early 2000s, the teens, everybody was into Harry Potter. Well, now, because J.K. Rowling follows true biology, the Museum of Pop Culture has removed her image from the Harry Potter exhibit. Well, excuse me, she owns, called intellectual property. She's the actual owner of all the Harry Potter stuff. So if you boot her out, it would not surprise me if she starts pulling all these Harry Potter exhibits out of museums, saying, you don't like me? You don't want my image there? You're not getting my intellectual property. And I think a lot of other people who believe in basic biology will start doing the same. Because these woke fools, they need to be re-educated. They need to go back and take a basic biology class and a basic government civics class, especially, I mean, now, when I watched my favorite Swede this morning, he was even making noise about how Sweden has now become, the women's soccer team from Sweden has now become everybody's favorite. Why? Because they beat America's women's soccer team. Well, hey, with that, what's her face, Rapinoe? She's such a woke fool. Okay, if you're woke, you're going broke. And you're losing. You're nothing but a loser. If you have to claim you're woke, that just proves how inadequate you truly are. Yes. If you're woke, or you follow this and your propaganda is nothing but woke nonsense, you're basically equal to a poor little Adolf youth? You have to be a bully? You're afraid to stand, you're afraid to not follow the in crowd? I can call out a lot of people who are so woke, and that if they continue in this behavior, their life will be falling apart. Their karma is going to come back so bad on them, and I would say by the next equinox, a lot of wokies' lives are going to start to disintegrate. Remember, everything on here is entertainment purposes only. Now, even now, okay, over in Niger, it's finally being released, the real reason why the military took over. It's because of the uranium. They are this. Here, Jojo has shut down uranium mining here in the States by declaring over 1 million acres around the Grand Canyon cannot be used, cannot be mined. And that's where a lot of our uranium is located. And we were purchasing uranium from Niger. And it's a giant money laundry, how the former Niger government was making money by selling, and they're part of the Jojo money laundry scheme. And the military said, no more. No one is to come into our airspace. And now the country of Nigeria, where everybody knows that it's like, hey, those people, the country where a lot of these internet scammers are based, they've got their knickers in a total twist because they are part of the big Jojo and Z guy laundry. A lot of money was flowing through Nigeria. And Niger has said, we're not dealing with you idiots anymore. We're going to be our own country with none of you guys having any influence. And so now Nigeria has lost a boatload of money flowing through. And they're being bullies to Niger. So these idiots that, hey, women, if you're getting friend requests on your social media, do some looking, because most likely it's some little scammer brat out of Nigeria. I mean, why would... yeah. Just really, really be careful, because there's a lot of scammers out of that country. Now, and yeah, it all traces back to like the Jojo family. Very much so. And it's like the Jojo stuff is so overwhelming that now the mayor of Wash, D.C., of Wash, hasn't asked yet, but I guess the committee people for the District of Columbia are now demanding help from the National Guard, because things have just gotten so out of control that the woke politicians have the hands of the regular police department so tied that idiots can do whatever they please, however they please, whenever they please. So people are asking for help for the National Guard. They're begging the city leader. But hey, it's not going to look good for like the city that Jojo supposedly works out of to not be able to manage the situation. and that city where he works, is supposedly working from, has to have the National Guard making sure that the streets are safe. If that happens, that's really going to expose more and more of the Jojo family's misbehavior. Yeah, and people are having to take things into their own hands, just like that convenience store where that guy went in and literally he had a garbage can on wheels and he was just dumping all sorts of stuff into the garbage can so he could steal it. And the two clerks went at him and one held him down, and they were knocking the daylights out of his from the waist down. Well, the two clerks, thankfully, are not going to be charged with anything. They're like, hey, you were doing the right thing, keeping him subdued until the police could get there. And that guy, because they've got it all filmed, he's the one who's in trouble now. And he's going with everything on footage that's been seen all over the place. You know, that guy's going to be in the pokey for a while. Okay? And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting that at least some places people are not getting in trouble for protecting what is rightfully theirs. But hey, we have so much corruption, and it's at the top, and it just trickles down. I mean, even now they're saying that if the donkeys win the 2024 job interview, that they're going to give Donnie a full pardon. So if that's the rumor now, then all the stupid other nonsense is nothing but hot air to keep him preoccupied during the interview process next year. And this rumor that's floating around is saying, yeah, it's like if the donkeys get the job, they're going to give him a full pardon. And that's really ironic because now more and more stuff is coming out about Barry and Mikey, Billy and Hilly. A lot of nastiness is coming out. A lot of the underbelly stories are being circulated. Especially how JJK was collecting a cover charge for people to talk with his daddy. Yeah, it's kind of like anybody who used to work in the nightclub industry knows that, hey, cover charge just to walk in the door. Yeah. And so basically that's what JJK is doing is, hey, you want to talk to my dad? Or you want to be introduced to my dad? Well, it's going to cost you this much. This is your cover charge to be in our presence. So, yeah, JJK's cover charge is now, it's all coming to light. And yet, because the attorney that would be putting charges against Jojo and JJK is also a donkey, they're hesitating and calling him out on stuff. Yeah, it's getting really, really. I think it's going to come not on the national, federal level, but the states that are the, you know how your color spectrum is? That the states that are the complementary color to green, I think on the attorneys from those states may start filing charges individually So, like, if Texas files paperwork against Jojo and JJK, and then another, like Kristi Noem's state, files paperwork against them, and Florida files paperwork, and it just snowballs. Because there's only, what, a half a dozen truly blue states? Illinois, unfortunately, is. We've got Putzker. Putzker and Baboon are basically running the state. But yeah, it's if the states who are the color that is the complementary colored green all file individually, that'll really tie up the donkey job interview process. Now, of course, it's been all over the news that on the British royal family's website, Henry and Rachel have lost their HRH. Well, she keeps wanting to be like Wallace. Wallace was never granted the HRH, so it's reality. And they've now been down at the bottom. Now, rumors are saying that she's supposed to possibly get a lump sum payout of $50 million. Now, if that's dollars, francs, euros, pounds, no one knows. They just are kicking around a number of 50 million. And we don't know if it's a lump or it will be doled out in monthly or yearly increments. But the people are saying that KC3 is going through paperwork to make sure that he does get guardianship of those children. And Rachel will have to pay child support. And the child support may be deducted from her $50 million. Okay? No, I don't know if she's been out. I haven't poked too far around to see what Rachel's doing this morning, but people are making noise that, yeah, Henry is now in Japan. And when he landed, they said he looked really good. Almost like the old Henry. Well, yeah, because Rachel isn't there. And something that a lot of people don't realize is that if you're an American, you need to have a travel visa to enter Japan. Maybe the Japanese government refused to give Rachel a travel visa. Yeah. Remember, Rahm Emanuel is now the ambassador to Japan. I can honestly say now, I mean, yeah, he was Barry's chief of staff, and then he became mayor of Chicago. And unfortunately, Rahm was the last decent mayor the city has had. I mean, from Rahm we went to Beetlejuice, and now we've got Baboon. So maybe Rahm Emanuel, the brother of Ari Emanuel, kind of said to the Japanese government, no, don't give her a travel visa. I don't want to deal with her headaches, because the next thing you know, she's going to be bugging me right, left, 8 ways to center. So my brother gets her a big money deal contract. So if they've got her stuck, kept back under the watch eye of all the staff from William Morris Endeavor Agency, keeping an eye on Rachel and telling her to keep her trap shut, it's going to get real interesting really fast. So, yeah, folks, that's pretty much what I've got for you today. Please remember to, I've noticed the numbers are dropping again. So YT must be playing games. So make sure that you're, click the red boots if you're not already subscribed. Click the thumbs up. And the bell, you want the bell to be black for notifications. But okay, it's the month of August. Videos go up on the odd numbered days of the month, 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and on the second and fourth Saturdays of the month at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time is a live broadcast. Tentatively, I will be doing another live broadcast with Mystical Fortunes this upcoming Saturday. We are still in discussions as to which channel it's going to be on. Okay? So tell your friends, and yes, you will be able to pop in if you want and ask questions. If you have a question you'd like an answer to, we will put the link in the chat stream so you can come on and ask us a question. And Mystical Fortunes, she'll pull cards on it, and then I give my 2 cents. And when you look at how much, if you want an in-person reading from us, this is your opportunity. And yes, I do have my, if you want to buy me a cream soda, the link's down below. So I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. So I'll be talking to you on the 11th. Okay? That's Friday. Okay. Everyone have a good one. Don't forget, please click the thumbs up and talk to you on the 11th. Bye-bye.